Hello and welcome to FPL Weekly and a half decent week this week. I think the history of our last two episodes has been, let's go back 2 episodes where I was in the mud, face first. I've literally just pulled myself in the mud as of the last few days. And then last week you were in the mud, but not as muddy as me.
Mate, I was.
You were in the mud, yes, but
I just was
when
hurt.
I was in the mud, I lost big points. I was 20 below the average when I was in the mud, and you were you lost 14 points on me. I lost about 50 on you that week. So, yeah, you didn't have a good week last week, but it wasn't a disaster because it was a low-scoring week anyway. I got no points in a high-scoring week. But anyway, yeah. So this week, look. Ches on the last episode said that if he was expecting one return, you got 7?
Steady on. Jesus. I got Johnston 1,
and that's kind of 1.5, by the way. That's kind of 1.5, Johnston. Because I got a return from Turner and he got 6.
You just need to choose your players better.
So lucky. I mean, how, what was it? Was it Forrest miss? Yeah, Forrest had basically missed an open goal. But anyway.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.5 for Johnson, yeah. And you kind of were expecting 1.
I said that my par, I felt like my par was 1, but like equally I was being dramatic. Like it's not, I wasn't. I was
expecting 2 or 3, and you got 5 or 6. So. Yeah, look, it was a good week for you. If I'd have said to you on the pod last week, you'd get 46, which is 2 more than the average, you'd say, sign me up.
And so, the baseline figures of if you get 11 players playing is 22. So for us to, 30 is a bare minimum any week. Any game week is 30. Because that means you've had 1 return, basically.
Yeah.
So, 1 return from your players is 30. 2 returns is 35. 3 returns is 40. So when, you are putting these like figures together and you're looking at scores that are in the, in the kind of 80s, 90s, just think how many returns that is like for each of your team. That's looking at basically like 10 returns, for your team. So that and your captain doing well. Obviously, your captain doing well is massive. So overall, I was content. Obviously, a little bit of a recap. Johnny's pulled the trigger on his wild card. He pulled the trigger early doors after game week 7. So it's been a game week 8 wild card. From the positives of that is obviously his team now for the next 5 game weeks is set. Like it's absolutely set. And probably the recommendation that I would have for him now is the transfers you make moving forward. Obviously, you're not going to make one this week, but the transfers that you make moving forward probably need to be a little bit roguey and a little bit kind of.
It's going to be tough. I don't mean to sound big-headed, but I love my team that much that if I don't get any injuries, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is it's fine to take 1 week punts because
I know what you mean.
Because ultimately, when you pick a wild card, you pick a wild card for the next 4 weeks minimum, because you don't want to leave yourself with problems. And I mean, that's when you can start looking forward to say, like, well, if I'm going to bench him for the next 2 weeks, will I want him will I want him 3 weeks later? So
I always look at 5 or 6 game weeks, and that's the thing with my team is a lot of my players longer term are good. Or, I'm not going to go through all of it, but all of my players have good fixtures for the next 6-7 game weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
Liverpool's are incredible. Spurs are fine.
Too right
Haaland,
as well.
No, but he's a lock. But
Too right as well. Like ultimately, and that's an interesting debate, really. Like, look, we've discussed it at length personally. We hate going against Erling Haaland, but on reflection, right?
A lot have.
On reflection, do you know if you would have left, say, 5 in the bank and gone with Watkins for 3 weeks, with a plan to get Haaland back in?
He could score a hat-trick against us.
Oh, look, mate. I would do my wild card would be virtually identical to yours. It's
not ridiculous. I agree. It's not ridiculous. I get the point that people are making, and especially with the fixtures, Salah for 12.5 is much better value than Haaland for 14 over those fixtures, for sure. So I get it.
Do you know if you had someone like Alvarez, like say I'm Pep, and I've got Alvarez on the bench, and I'm kind of shadowing Haaland, saying, "Look at me, Pep," but Alvarez is playing and he's not really doing it either. So it's not like there is that person sat there waiting in the wings. So I'm not worried.
I know what you're saying, and I think it's not as stupid as we initially thought. Because I remember saying to you, I was like, I can't believe people are even entertaining it. And quite a lot of people did it. And I can understand why some have done it. It scares the shit out of me. Like, I just don't think it's the play. And here's the thing, the biggest reason I didn't is the reason people did it is they said, if I don't have Haaland, I can have everyone else I want. I genuinely had everyone else I want and Haaland.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not a player in there. I could have got Maddison if I wanted. I just chose not to. There's not a player that I didn't have that I wanted, even with Haaland. So I take Haaland out of my team. Who do I get?
Yeah.
Maybe Alvarez. Maybe. Right?
You could have got Trippier.
Could have got Trippier, yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm saving what? I'm saving 7 million from Haaland to Alvarez.
But getting Trippier doesn't mean that you've got a contingency plan to get Haaland back in, which you need. Yeah. Like if you've not got money in the bank and so say for example, say you'd gone Darwin Núñez, which you could have done. Like there's the option there. You drop down Haaland to Núñez and leave the money in the bank.
Then I'd have probably gone Maddison instead of Diaz because I wouldn't have needed triple Liverpool attack.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then you could have planned to be getting Haaland back in. All those people who've gone, I want Trippier, I want I want Maddison, Son, Salah, all of those people who've said that with no plans to get Haaland back in.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh, they're just going to get shafted
one week. Look, because it's double shafted because everyone's going to captain Haaland. Like, and I'm not saying everyone will because I'm fully prepared to be captaining Mo Salah a lot of the time. Well, not a lot of the time, but like, I'll just go with I'll go with the odds, and
we've got some of the worst goals conceded numbers in the league, and we're doing well. Yeah. And the Premier League table would tell you we're doing really well, but that's because we're scoring 1 million goals. We're conceding so many goals. Like, if you said to me, City scored 2 goals, I'll shake your hand right now. I'm expecting 3 or 4.
Jesus.
Aston scored 3 against us. They are useless. Useless.
I thought you've got the best defender in the world.
We have. He scored, obviously, as well. Right in front of me as well in the North Stand. That was a sight to behold.
And realistically, let me just say this now. So they've got you at home. They've got Brighton at home. Yeah.
Goals.
When have you ever gone against captaining Haaland at home? By the way.
Yep.
Okay. Man United away. He could score.
Definitely. That's going to be a really interesting one, by the way, because it's Salah against Forest. It's going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, I probably won't. I would be captaining Salah that week.
Yeah, I think I probably will.
I'll be more inclined to captain Salah that week than I would Salah at home to Everton.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Because Everton aren't going to want to concede 4.
Yeah.
They're going to want to try and keep it tight. So
Holland Bournemouth after that, isn't it?
and then the next game is Haaland-Bournemouth. The interesting one is Luton away, Liverpool.
Is it the same week as Haaland-Bournemouth? Oh, you just got Haaland-Bournemouth. You just got Haaland-Bournemouth. You can't avoid that.
You'd have to look at it and look at form, wouldn't you? Really? But me like you, captaincy is I take my personal opinion out of captaincy and I go on odds. Bookies don't get shit wrong. You go on anytime goal scorer, look at the odds for anytime goal scorer, and boom, it'll tell you. The other person, FPL Salah, puts the statistics up of anytime goal scorer percentage wise, and I just go with the top one. Yeah. It makes fucking sense. Stop trying to beat the system because the system will always kick back. If there's a 50-50 call and there's a 55 versus a 52, and say you're going to the game, I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm going to Bournemouth at home. You know what, Captain Salah, go and enjoy yourself. Yeah, because it's a game. Yeah.
In hindsight, I Salah did well for me this week. Obviously, we got 15. I was there, but in hindsight, I could have captained him based on I'm at the game. If he goes ballistic, I get loads of points, and if he doesn't, we're probably going to win the game. Or do you know what I mean? So, in hindsight, I could have done that and made the experience a little bit more enjoyable. But he still got a good haul for me. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I just captaincy is. I'm more interested in the people who I put on the pitch is more of a decision for me.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Than captaincy. Captaincy is.
But what I take
that out of my equation.
What I would say is it's quite good though that we're having captaincy debates because we were moaning that captaincy was taken out of it because it was Haaland every week. But it's now interesting that it's not Haaland every week. Some are going without him. I went Son last week. Some went Salah.
How did that go for you?
Not great, but he got more than Haaland.
Because of the clean sheet. Oh, that stinks.
Do you know what? When you said to me, wow, how did Son get on? I so nearly text back saying more than Haaland, and that was pre-game. But I thought no, because it's just embarrassed me if he goes nuclear. So, Haaland, look.
By the way,
I'm not worried. There is 0.06 XG in 2 games is mad for Haaland.
There is the one thing that I want to point out. That game of football between City and Arsenal was one of the worst games I've seen since.
I'm quite lucky because I had to miss it. I was going down to the wedding and stuff, so I had to miss it. I had it on the radio, and I'm so glad. Not glad, but it was one that I didn't mind missing.
Oh God, it was awful. It was awful.
Just a stalemate, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's an interesting debate. So obviously, thing that we also want to bring up. By the way, listeners, we have gotten zero structure to this chat, and obviously we're in an international break, and we absolutely hate international breaks. Yeah, and it is a good opportunity to kind of put FPL a little bit to bed for a bit. Yeah. And I've already made my transfer, which was Rashford to Salah.
Yeah, and I'm not making any. Unless I get ravaged in the international break, which is extremely unlikely. Even if I get an injury, I still won't move.
No, I don't.
Because I'm still trying to fit. I mean,
not unless it's to hold value.
Yeah, I agree, but it's severely unlikely. My first sub is Anthony Gordon at home against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, my sub is Mitoma.
At City, yeah, that's fine.
At City, and he's got a flag,
Yes, but that's only because, and I'm pretty sure with it, he looked tired as well when I watched him against Liverpool. I think he's been playing loads. He's one of our most nailed players. He's been playing every game, and I just think he's just cooked. He's just cooked. And De Zerbi said, "Any chance of you not going on international duty?" He said, "Yeah, fair enough, boss." That's all that's happened. Same with Lamptey. Lamptey's cooked, and he's not playing. He's not going to national duty as well. So I wouldn't worry about that unless we hear something. No. I think De Zerbi's gone, look, boys, you're all knackered. Like, I get it, Duncan, you're going to go to England, whatever. But if you're not sure and you're not too bothered, let's just say you're injured.
The other
Give yourself a rest.
person that I've got is that I really hope comes back. I really hope comes back is Botman.
Yeah.
Because that's got 0-0 or written all over it, which is because they're at home at Palace. Two
good defences,
yeah. So because then I don't need to then play Saliba at Chelsea, but
then after that, Arsenal are pretty good after that.
Oh yeah, I'm holding Saliba. I'm holding him. Like if I was on a wild card, I'd swap Saliba for Gabriel. But
if I had a defensive injury, I'd be going Gabriel as my priority.
Just to save, I think is it 0.4. I think you're virtually getting the same player for 0.4 less, so you may as well do it. And then, as you said, I think you said it the other day. I feel like this is a free hit team. Like I'm not far off a free hit team. I've got Turner at home to Luton. Pedro at home to Fulham. Cash at home to West Ham. Botman at home to.
I've got Burn.
So same
thing.
Then I've got Salah home to Everton. Bruno away at Sheffield United.
It's absolutely fine.
Foden at home to
that's fine.
To Brighton. Gordon at home to Palace. Darwin at home to Everton. Haaland at home to Brighton, and Wissa at home to Burnley. It feels like honestly, this is where my move to not free hit, to not wild card. I'm sat with my team and looking at it moving forward. I'm in a great place, and I've still got my wild card. And I suppose that just
and a free hit. I've used a wild card and a free hit. So
you've not used a free hit.
No, sorry, I meant a bench
boost. Bench boost. Yeah. I mean, you're shit, but you're not that shit, mate.
Just not as good as you. That's all.
No, obviously.
Just I've got all of those to you, really.
You are the co-host.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we'll see how things go. But other than the players you mentioned, I'm pretty much the same back four as you. Turner, Cash, Porro. You've got Botman. I've got Burn. Then I've got two defender duds because that's just the way I wanted to go. I wanted to save money in defence. Longer games this year, less clean sheets this year. I wanted to just save money in defence. And the thing is, when you go a dud striker, the dud striker's Mubama, really. He's not going to play. When you go a dud defender like Taylor, they're still going to play. So if you desperately need them, they will still play for you. Can Burnley keep a clean sheet at Brentford? They can. Yeah. He's not starting him, but he's not a disgustingly bad bench option. So other than that, it's the same. I've got Salah. I've got Son at home against Fulham. Great. I've got Diaz at home against Everton. Great. You've got Nunez. I've got Diaby at home against West Ham. I've got Højlund at Sheffield United. And I've got Watkins at home against West Ham. So, like you, this has to be a high-scoring week this week. It has to be.
I think I'm going to do a prediction that the average will be 51.
It's got to be high. The only two teams that are a bit tied up is Chelsea-Arsenal. I've got no Chelsea now, and I've got no Arsenal. And you've only got one Arsenal when he's on your bench.
Hopefully he will be. The early wildcarders who brought in 3 Chelsea will, if you look at their fixture run, it's absolutely horrendous, awful. So,
I love Cole Palmer. I love him. I think he's an unbelievable. Maybe not yet, but he's got potential to be an incredible option. Seems nailed now. Chelsea have won the last 2 games that he started. Right? They feel like they've turned the corner with him in the side. He's taken the penalty when everyone else is on the pitch.
4.9. Apart from Reece James.
Apart from Reece James, who could be on penalties, but we don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that.
For me,
starting midfielder for Chelsea, who's on penalties, and not only that, who's quite attacking, that's outrageous when their fixtures turn.
Yeah, well, and their fixtures turn around the time that I am potentially wildcarding. But
that's an 8 million. That's an 8 million for 4.9. Penalty taking midfielder for Chelsea attacking. What price is Sterling?
Steady on 8 million. Jesus Christ.
Is Sterling a lot better than Palmer?
Steady on. Get your head out of his arse.
Mate. He's an 8 million. If he's a starter, he's on penalties, he's attacking. You can't tell me he's not 8 million.
Get your mouthful of Cole Palmer's dick.
I'm just saying, he's an 8 million for 4.9. Well, Sterling is 7.5. He's not on pens.
So all of the stuff that Raheem Sterling's done over the years is 7.5,
Do you
and
think
you think
Sterling is a much better player than Cole Palmer as of today?
no, but he's got credibility and he's got
He's had
pedigree
a
and he's
great
got
career, but that's because Cole Palmer's young.
yeah. But
Sterling's had a better career than Phil Foden. Doesn't mean he's a better player.
Cole Palmer's took one penalty and you just fucking
Cole
love him.
Palmer's a good player, mate. He looks. I like him.
No,
He's a
I don't
talent.
mind him. I don't mind him, but like the fixture runs
4.9 is the
the
wrong
fixture
price.
runs.
And the only reason
It's
it's
the
the
wrong
wrong
price, but
price is
it's
because he
six
was at
point
Man City.
five.
Yeah.
It's
What is he
6.5.
next year? He's 7 next year.
He's 6.5 tops.
He'd probably be my team at 6.5. He's still on penalties.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, he's
Why?
regardless.
Just make the transfer, mate. Do it. Make the transfer now.
The only reason I haven't is their fixture run is hideous. It's hideous.
Exactly.
But if their fixture run was good, I'd already have him in. Now, Palmer for Gordon. See ya. Bye bye, Anthony. Bye bye. But
Right.
Arsenal away. No, Arsenal home. Then Spurs away. City at home. Newcastle away. Brighton at home. United away. Then it's fine. It's hideous. So you're only considering them. I've written in my notes, I've done a few little notes today. I've written Cole Palmer from game week 16.
Yeah, and that's when I'm probably going to be wildcarding, and I'll
Yeah.
probably be going for two Chelsea assets, I imagine.
Yeah. But like I said, my initial reaction was, hang on, starting, involved in Chelsea's turnaround in form, on penalties, good player, wants minutes, should get minutes now. It's too cheap. The only reason I haven't put him in, like I said, is his fixtures. That's all.
Mhm.
When his fixtures turn, look, he could be injured. He might not be on penalties anymore, whatever. But as of right now, my God, we've got to keep an eye on him. So, yeah, that's him. Other than that, like I said, future plans, I'm definitely rolling this week. And then I don't know how I'm going to do 2 in game week 10.
I think no, you can just do 1 and then just hold.
Yeah, I think I'll just do 1, and that's powerful, isn't it? Because you can do 1 and keep 2, and that's really powerful, just in case you get injuries. The only one, really, it is only 1. There's 1.5. The main one is Matoma. It's a bit template, but our fixtures from game week 10 are very good. So really quickly, Fulham at home, Everton away, Sheffield United at home, Forest away, Chelsea away is okay. Brentford at home, Burnley at home. So our fixtures are really good. So the only good thing with Matoma, he's the fairly nailed one. The only one I want to throw into the mix when you're talking about differentials, wild punts, is Adingra. He was good against you. He's man of the match. He looks exciting. It's 5 million. Yes, rotation a little bit, but I do think he's our best right winger. So, do you know what I mean? He had a game where it's hard to ignore.
He has to show me more. I
agree. So that's what I mean. That's why Matoma, at the moment, you're paying the 1.5 for the security. But Adingra is another Cole Palmer of keep your eye on him at 5 million. He's almost a dud price. I mean, he got his goal. He could have got more. You know, when he cut inside, he should have scored, really. I mean, Alisson did really well, but he could have got a big haul. So if he starts to play, if he plays 75% of the games at 5 million, is a great price. So just a little differential there that no one will be talking about. But yeah, I will be trying to find a way to go with Toma. However, who for? Gordon is cheaper. He's nailed. Barnes isn't there. Newcastle's XG is really good. He should be involved. Son is Son. I don't need to say too much about that. He's a great player. He's playing up top. He's probably on pens. Salah is Salah. I don't need to say anything about that. Diaby is a very good option. Villa's fixtures are amazing. And Luis Diaz's fixtures are amazing. So who do I bring? The only way I can bring Matoma in, really, is if I get an injury. My team is... I'm that happy with my team, I almost want an injury. I'm that happy with it. I'm that happy with it. I almost want the decision to be made for me. Diaby's out for 2 months, Matoma. I almost want the decision to be made for me. That's how happy I am with my team.
But congratulations.
I know I've played my wild card. I get it.
You've
But what
played
I'm
your wild
saying
card.
is, I haven't played my wild. I nearly went Bruno, right? I love Bruno as an option. I've talked about it a lot. But would I now be fully in on Bruno? I'd be a bit like, oh, should I have done that? I don't have any of that.
He could
I
go. By the way, like, I want to make one point about Man United assets. If you have a Man United asset and you're not changing him for Salah, if you're not changing a Man United asset for Salah, you are an idiot for this game week.
Yeah, I agree. Sheffield United is shocking defensively.
Like,
shocking.
Sheffield United is the absolute creme of fixtures.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's why. But here's the other reason why I'm comfortable not having him is because I've got Højlund, and he's a piece of that, and he hasn't kicked on yet. I think he's disgustingly close to kicking on. Disgustingly close.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes an essential at some point during the season.
When you talk about trying to get players before the curve, he's a possible one.
Yeah, and that's where I see him as a pick in your wild card. Is that little bit of a punt that
it's a little bit of difference, yeah,
that you do need, because what's the template? Watkins, Haaland, Alvarez.
Blank really is the template. The template really is Haaland, Watkins, Blank, or Alvarez, but mainly Blank. And the template would have been Maddison instead of Diaz, and maybe Blank instead of Gordon, or maybe Ward-Prowse, or maybe Bowen, and then a better defender. So it would have been because they blanked their striker, they can go a Trippier for one of my blank defenders. So it probably would have been Burn, Cash, Porro, Trippier.
But like, you've got to take some people on.
Yeah.
And I think you've done a good thing with it. And that would be my little bit of advice, is like, have some fun.
Yeah.
With a wild card. There is a lot of people on a wild card that don't go mental.
Yeah.
But have a little bit of fun.
But have enjoy a little punt. It's fine to have 2 or 3 punts. I agree with you, because at the end of the day, the full template will take you so far, and it will get you guaranteed pretty much in the top million, but it won't quite take to the next level. And I learned that from the guy that won it last year. The amount of times I've looked at his team and thought, that is average.
Well, it's not average. It's wild.
It's worse than average.
No, it's wild. What I mean by that, it's rogue. It's like, and I'm not saying that rogue always wins, but I'm pretty sure, I think he did something crazy. Like, there was one week where he captained Watkins, and all of the odds would have said to not do it. All of the odds. And it was something mental. Like, Watkins got a hat trick and Haaland was benched. It was that rogue. Haaland was 1 doubled and he got 15 doubled.
It's like Watkins against Brighton. No one would have thought that Watkins would score what he did against Brighton. And anyone that captained him at the time, you're thinking that's ridiculous. But we're not thinking that now. So you're right, going a little bit. You can't go fully rogue because it's just suicide, but you can go a little bit rogue. And like I say, I've got a little bit of that with. You could say Porro. He's not a player that non-wildcarders will have at all.
No, he's the no.
He's a wildcard pick. He's
the
not
engaged.
A non-wildcard pick.
He's the. I'm a non-wildcard pick.
Yeah, but you've gone to him. You've gone to him. But
I've gone to him.
Not a lot of people would have gone to him.
But like, if you look at his XG, if you look at his expected assists, his heat map, everything.
But again, mate, he could have scored against Liverpool so easy. He was through on goal.
Is everything is suggestive that he's the best defender out of Spurs,
and he's nailed. And Spurs don't have to worry about midweek football, and he's nailed. So and then Diaz is my slight differential. Yes, his minutes are worry. He's going to start so many games. He might get taken off at 75.
Honestly, from a Liverpool perspective, I don't think, personally, this strike force of Salah, Nunez, Diaz, I think is one that he's going to really give a fair few minutes to.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the rotation will probably come in the
After
Carabao
international
Cup.
break. Or
Carabao
after
Cup.
international break, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that is to be honest. As a Nunez owner, I am slightly concerned that 12:30 kickoff again. How many times? Like, I know we say Klopp's a moaner, but this is ridiculous now.
Yeah. The only good thing is with early kickoff is team news. So I'm just saying, if Diaz gets benched, I'm not selling him, but Gordon comes in. Whereas if we don't know, then you're going to start Diaz, you're going to take the risk, and you're going to start Darwin, you're going to take the risk. But if we know that Diaz and Nunes both don't start, you bring whoever, I bring in Gordon. It's not the end of the world. So at least we should find out. Because I think the Liverpool info is usually pretty good.
Yeah, one thing though that I wanted to say is that, like, obviously I brought in Nunes on the back of good fixtures, on the back of him starting these good fixtures. Like, I didn't, I would have gone a different mindset. I would have brought Watkins in.
We knew that the Brighton game was a good target, and that was the same for Diaz, and it was the same for Nunes, and that's because Gakpo was out, and that's because Jota was out. So we knew the Brighton game was a good game.
But I brought him in 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, but I nearly went Nunes, so nearly. If Gakpo had been out for 6 weeks, I'd have gone Nunes. But Gakpo is always going to be there. Klopp quite likes him. Nunes has got a tiny niggle. He's got a bit of international break. And do you know what? You actually convinced me a little bit with what you said last week of why don't you just go Højlund Diaz? And that saved me about 1.5 mil. Would I rather have Diaz, Højlund at 1.5 or Bruno Nunes and 0? Probably Diaz, Højlund at 1.5. I get the United coverage just in case they start turning it around. Højlund was brilliant in the Champions League. And I get the Liverpool extra coverage that I wanted with their unbelievable fixture run with Diaz. So it was a nice middle ground. I like having a little bit of a piece of players that are going to have incredible fixture runs. I needed a piece of Spurs. I just didn't feel I needed to go template with Son and Maddison. And yes, it was a bit annoying. Maddison got 6 points, but it was Luton. What did I expect? So I'm expecting Maddison to get consistent returns, just not explosive returns. Diaz could go mad against, whoever. Everton at home, Forest at home, Luton away, Brentford at home. He could go crazy in those 4 games. Is Maddison going to go crazy? I might live to regret that, but is he going to go crazy? I think he's more of that Eriksen kind of role, whereas Diaz is more attacking. I'm sure Diaz's heat map is going to be a bit higher up the pitch than Maddison. So I like those exciting differentials that are attacking. And I like Maddison as a player as well, but I've got a bit of a soft spot for Diaz. I think he's a really good player. He wasn't great against us, but I do like him as a player. So yeah, happy with it. Definitely going to roll next week. I don't need to worry too much about chips. I've obviously played a couple. I will be.
I think we got our news, didn't we? Our triple captain Haaland. Well, Haaland is blanking in game week 18.
He is blanking in game week 18.
Well, that is incredible knowledge from me, listeners. Would you expect anything else?
Absolutely not.
No. From
is
numero uno.
Have you seen the double, by the way?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's home.
Here we go.
Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford. And home to. Bear with me. West Ham.
No. You ready? Sheffield United. If that doesn't stink of triple captain, I don't know what does.
Wow.
Imagine having no Haaland for that double. Oh my god!
With
So,
no
yeah.
plan to get him back. Like, wow. Good luck to you guys. Good luck.
Sheffield United at home and Brentford at home just
Game
stinks
week
of triple captain.
23, was it?
20, dead on 20.
20.
It's not confirmed, by the way, but it's very strong rumours.
Just game week 20. When's that due to be played?
The reason is because the Sheffield United game is the 30th of December, and then there's no game until the 13th of Jan. So they've got that 2-week spell that they're going to throw in.
Fake news.
Yeah, but because of
FA Cup.
Yes, but it's still a 2-week window, so they can play it midweek.
Okay.
Because one of those midweek games isn't going to be Europe. They have Europe one midweek weekend, and then they'll have a spare midweek. Yeah, they'll have a spare midweek for the rearranged.
I don't think they would have a midweek Europe in January. January is very.
Oh, true.
Europe,
Exactly. That
Europe
might be the break,
stops.
mightn't it? True. That could be the Europe break, and they're not even in the Carabao Cup, are they? That made a difference, didn't it? So yeah.
That's it.
They got
quarterfinal of Carabao Cup will be the week when they do it. Wow. So, by the way, 100% there is a Sheffield United at home in game week 20, and the bonus would be a Brentford at home.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I'm thinking of my wild card down the line, Tony back for a double.
Definitely. Just check the fixtures, but I'm a fixture whore. But even so,
but I mean, ultimately, that Brentford game week 20 will be a double. Obviously,
Palace away. They're Palace away, City away.
I mean,
and then they're Nottingham Forest at home, and then either side of that, they've got Wolves at home, Nottingham Forest at home.
It's not bad, is it?
Not bad. So it's definitely worth consideration. And he's going to be a fairly big differential. Obviously, people will be climbing to get him in, but you're going to obviously be in a much better position to get him in than me without a wild card. So
yeah, no, but you can Watkins to Tony just happens like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it'd be easy enough for me to get him in.
Yeah.
So my plans are
there's not a climb.
Get an injury, even then I'm not too bothered. The only thing I'm not happy about at the moment is my points. But look, even this week, I don't know if you watched the. I don't know if you.
Johnson.
I know.
Just say that again.
Thing.
So that's like saying like I've got a really big. I've got no one to use it on.
Pretty much, but I'm happy that it's big.
Yeah.
It's like going on the golf course and thinking I'm absolutely flushing it. How am I 5 over?
Because you've had 100 putts.
Because I keep bouncing in the middle of the fairway and kicking into the bunker, and then it plugs.
Bullshit! This is not.
And I hit a pure putt and I walk it in and it horseshoes.
Oh,
that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Oh yeah.
But if you keep hitting good putts, mate, eventually they're going to start dropping.
Yeah.
That guy could have got. If you watch the highlights of I don't know if you watched the Newcastle game or the highlights.
Yes.
My God.
Yes.
He could have got 2 goals and an assist. Burn. Cash has had a 1-on-1 sitter. Porro's had 2 that have just gone past the post. Like, honestly, they could have got 25 points between them. Son has got shafted by Batuma's red card.
Oh yeah. That
definitely helped you.
Yeah.
You massively. Batuma's red was cake for you. It was so good. So good. So anyway, I'll stop. I'll try and stop it. Did Hoyland have a disallowed goal? Maybe that. So anyway, I'm preaching about bad luck as well, which is not a nice trait. But next week.
By the way, you do that every week.
I do, but I do. I wouldn't say it if I didn't feel like it was true.
I think you've done this now for 2 years plus.
I've done it a while, yeah, and it's not a great trait, but I do believe.
How long before we had this debate about Onana? Like, is he making mistakes or is he a shit keeper? Are you shit or is it just constant bad luck?
You'd like to think lucky was in South Island, isn't it? It's been a good year. of pretty crap luck. I mean, I could give you in the last year of FPL, I could give you my good luck on one hand, and I would need a room for bad luck. A room.
No, but is it bad luck or is it bad choices?
I get it. There's a little bit of bad choices. Burn could have got millions against West Ham. Haaland had 17 predicted points against West Ham and got 6. That's bad luck. The other one, by the way, while I'm on my bitching, just before I stop my bitching, Watkins, last second of the game, bosh off the post. It was a clear shove as well. Clear shove. Bang, straight in the back. If he falls over there, penalty, cheers. Anyway, so it's just going to take a little bit of the rub of the green for me to get a really big week, and then I'm banging it again. It's not far off. And I'm happy with my team. I've just done the wild card. I'm rolling next week. I'm going to bank loads of transfers. At the moment, I don't feel like I need to make any transfers. The only time I will need to make them is if I get injuries.
Right, listeners, I think you need to end it here because he's so positive, and we'll return.
Do you know what? That's the bottom line, like you said. The big motto for this game is the hope that kills you. Every week I go into the game week so positive. And
I wasn't positive last week.
4 o'clock on Saturday, I go in and I'm like, yes, brilliant. Got all these plans. I'm definitely going to have a good week. You captain Son. He hits the woodwork. He gets dragged off. You have other players that got easy games. They create about 1 million XG and get a blank. You get a keeper that concedes no. You know what I'm saying? So you have all these plans and all these. You're so happy with your team. You're really happy with your moves, and it goes wrong every time. And it's the hope that kills. And every Saturday, I think that to myself. I think, how was I so optimistic when every week it's a shitstorm? Honestly.
Wow. I think you might need therapy.
Honestly, it's madness. It's like, what did Einstein say? Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
So, look,
I do think that you are the common denominator in all of this.
Possibly. I'm just waiting for that week, like you had 2 weeks ago when you got 96.
What about the week when you had Gusto?
Yes, Gusto got a couple of assists on my bench boost. That's my one good break up. 8 game weeks. There's none other. No others.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, next week, obviously, this is an international week, so we are going to try and do some content next week. Going to do a little bit of a chat thing. We might throw a little something different in there, subscribe, follow us on the socials, on Twitter, etc. Trying to put some stuff together on there, and good luck if you don't listen to us before next game week. And Johnny will return bitching as per usual.
Definitely, there's a 99% chance that I'm going to be sulky, miserable. I may even have to dig out that violin song from YouTube again. Gonna happen. That will be coming out again soon.
Catch you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.